From side-scrollers to 3D and now the Wii, what's next? Find out now as we conclude Gamehead's tribute to Shigeru Miyamoto.
It's funny because I grew up playing Miyamoto's games, but I didn't even realize that one person had made like all of my favorite games. And it wasn't until I read this article in Wired and they were talking about Miyamoto, it was just like, yeah, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Mario, Star Fox, Pikmin. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was just completely unfathomable that one person had done all of that. So I wrote him a song and I sang it to him. And now his games are like little moments in time, captured in my mind. Oh, Miyamoto.
Yeah! When people think of the name Miyamoto, which game do you hope that they remember first as their favorite game that Mr. Miyamoto has created?
Well, generally I think the answer would be Mario, but right now I think I really want people to focus on Wii Sports.
Play with your son and your daughter and your wife? Do all four of you ever play Wii Tennis together?
Yes, we do, and we invite our neighbors over and we all play together.
How do I get an invite to Mr. Miyamoto's house to go play with the Wii with Wii Tennis, right? We know all you game heads out there are Miyamoto fanboys, but can the average person even recognize Shigeru Miyamoto's face?
No idea.
I don't know his name.
I should. No.
He's a game designer for which company was it?
Yeah, that's the president of Nintendo.
I think it was EA or something like that.
Miyamoto. Is that right?
That's Mario.
That's Mario. That's Mario.
Mario.
Oh, that's Mario.
Why I don't know the creator of Mario. Maybe he's not videogenic or something, I don't know.
The video game industry is very different than film or other industries because the household names that people love are the characters. So everybody knows Mario, but everyone might not know Miyamoto.
Video game creators don't have their names on the boxes for the most part. Miyamoto has created many more classic experiences than a lot of movie directors whose names you do know. And so that's the nature of being a great video game creator.
I think we're at the beginning of a new analogy, where future geniuses may someday be lucky enough to be considered the Shigeru Miyamoto of their field.
What future games may help Miyamoto become a household name? He's currently working on the Wii title Super Mario Galaxy, which Nintendo promises will be out by the end of the year. But that can't be the only game he's got in the pipeline. We asked a few questions that may have led to a Gamehead scoop. Is there any games that in the past that you remember that you might have started on but you never got to finish, or other games that you wanted to make but you weren't able to make?
One good example would be a game that we had been working on for the Super NES called Star Fox 2. It's a sequel to the original Star Fox. And while we worked on that game for quite a while, it ultimately got put on the pending list, so to speak. We have been looking at ways to maybe try to bring a project like that back to life, and been looking at what we could do with that on the Nintendo DS.
Were it not for Mario being bundled with the very first Nintendo Entertainment System, it's hard to imagine that it would have had the kind of success it's had. And a lot of times, certainly gamers don't always realize that Miyamoto is really one of the top managerial positions at Nintendo now. Very little happens in that company that he doesn't have some say in, that still doesn't carry that Miyamoto spirit, or whatever you want to call it.
People often wonder, well, why aren't they competing with Microsoft and Sony to have more and more powerful machines? Well, the reason is that they have a creative genius who can ensure that they have great games in spite of having, second to best technology.
But this is a company that has always put its characters, its experiences, and the fun of those experiences first. And when you say, okay, well, who's doing that first at Nintendo? Who's getting it right first at Nintendo? You look back and that was Miyamoto plugging away on the Donkey Kong machine, making sure that you had a fantastic time.
Thank you very much. Why don't you play us out? That's it for this week's Gamehead, but make sure to tune in next week for all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. I know the game. Do you? Play us off, Mr. Miyamoto.
Okie dokie, this episode of Gamehead will be available tomorrow on SpikeTV.com for your viewing pleasure. Princess Peach and I are gonna watch it again. Woohoo!